Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I have to give credit where credit is due. The idea for this video is not my own. The idea for this video came about a long time ago from Seedon, where you take a lower rarity champion and see how they fare against lower rated content, namely the Act 4 Maestro boss. Now, since those times, champions have developed slightly. Namely, they've got a bit more powerful. So, we're going to be upping the ante a little bit, instead taking the newest addition to Marvel Contest of Champions, Okoye, against the Act 5.1 Archangel boss, and seeing how she does there. Let's get into it. So by grinding out the lower levels of Arena, one can very easily pick themselves up a 3-star version of Okoye, and I was very, very excited to get my hands on the champion, not only because it is very satisfying to take a champion all the way up from rank 1 to rank 4, awakening them and then just trying them out. New champions are always exciting. But also because of these simply insane things that Okoye is capable of. I genuinely believe she is going to be heading the 7-star skill class into the future. So, Okoye. How does she work? Well, the base of her kit is her mastery of battle as an elite warrior. So she gains increased benefits from mastery such as deep wounds on her awakened ability and also dexterity. So she starts the fight with 15 of the precision buffs you would normally gain from dexterity. When she hits the opponent, they expire 1 at a time with increased duration. Every medium attack she lands grants 2, and every time she dexes, instead of getting 1, she gains 3. And as you can probably imagine, this results in quite a high crit rating. So how does that help? Well, every time she lands a critical hit, she applies both a shock debuff and also a bleed debuff that on their own don't do that much damage. But when you have an 8-hit combo, you can imagine that's going to stack up quite quickly. So her loop is not complicated at all. You throw your mad combos, you build on your mad DOT, you then lock the DOT in with her SB2, and every crit on the SB2 also deals instant damage. And, well, as you're going to see, this gets quite insane, quite fast. So, hopping into Act content here, we're going to have to select Book 1, travel all the way back to Act 5, Chapter 1, Quest 6, and I already built a team around Okoye. This is nothing special. I think there might be one special synergy in there with Black Panther. I can't remember what that does. I should have made notes. But this is just a generic damage team. Apart from that, I think she gains roughly 20% more attack from this team. And we're going to try her out. So entering the fight against Jane Foster, you see we gain 15 of those precision buffs and then 2 per medium. And you can see we're already on 26 DOTs, and she's beginning to tick down. So just very simple, landing my 5-hit combos, and you're going to see when I dex, I'll dex at some point. There it is, and you see I gain another 3 of those dexterity masteries, and passing 50 hits in my combo meter, I gain a vicious passive which further increases the potency of my DOT, and as you can see, we didn't even need it because the burst from that SP2 and just chaining onto my SP1. Jane Foster's dead. And the beauty of Okoye is it really is no more complicated than that, as we're going to see against Gamora. All I have to do is exactly the same thing, and she's just going to melt. And that is why I believe that Okoye is going to age quite well in the competitive meta, because she doesn't need a lot going for her to maximize her damage, because it really is 5-hit combos, SP2, nothing special, no special circumstances, no fancy combos or abilities or messing around. It's just 5-hit combo, SP2, win the fight. And there's nothing special you need to do to get that vicious passive, it just comes. And yeah, throwing off this SP2, locking in on my debuffs, and Gamora doesn't have any more days left in her. She's gone. How fast was that? 33 seconds. 33 seconds. Okay, yeah. So, I think Okoye is going to be relevant all the way from this level of the game in Act 5, all the way up to high-end Battlegrounds, Alliance War, also potentially in the Necropolis, just with her insane damage potential. And this fight is going to give me a bit of an opportunity, if I speak fast enough, to showcase some of her utility. Because obviously she relies on two forms of DOT, Bleed and Shock, but what happens if the opponent is immune to one of those? Surely that halves her damage. No. Every time the opponent is immune to one of them, she simply refreshes the other one, and my understanding of this is that it just allows her to stack a hell of a lot more of one type of DOT without worrying about them falling off. And as you can see, there isn't much of a difference between this fight and any of the other fights that we've seen so far. Yes, I think it was a bit slower as I turned my phone on to Do Not Disturb and I'm getting notifications from my partner. It's a bit slower from the other matches. It's 45 seconds, but mainly on account of his unstoppable. Nothing really to do with his immunities. And this fight here is going to be very fun. The Rocket Raccoon. We go straight from a tanky boy with some immunities straight into a guy with only 20,000 health. And, well, the Trash Panda, he's going to have to say goodbye. Okoye is not going to mess around here. So, yeah. Hammering in here, throwing off 5-hit combos. He's already a quarter of the way down. Are we even going to make it to our SP2 before he just melts on basic combos alone? Yeah, DOT really is an exceptionally effective way of just ending your opponent's hopes and dreams. Locking in all that damage, look at those bursts, and he's down. So that was quite a small health pool, I admit, but how fast was that? 27 seconds. From a 3-star in Act 5, I'll take it. I'll take it. Even in 2025, when we've come to expect probably unrealistic things. As I nearly die. Probably unrealistic things from our new champions. That is quite impressive, one has to admit. Another Bleeding Me matchup here. And it's really not going to stop Okoye. She does not fear the Ghost Rider hammering in here. And I will have to say, I'm really enjoying this champion, but it's not all plain sailing. I think I have one tiny complaint, maybe, just to do with her animations. And that is that the double hit lights, normally when champions have multi-contact hits, they're quite fast. But Okoye, once you play her, you may not notice it here, but once you play her, we have 53 shocks. Wow. 50, nearly 60. Yeah, he's dead in 34 seconds. There's no difference between that and a champion that isn't immune to bleed. But what you'll notice if you play someone like North Star or Iron Man Infinity War is that their double contact hits or their triple contact hits are all really, really fast, which makes it really, really easy to count. So here, playing Okoye, you may not notice it, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm really finding myself having to count in my head 1, 2, 3 lights, then a medium. 1, 2, 3 lights, then a medium. And this got easier the more I played her, but it's a bit annoying. It's especially annoying for light attack intercepts, because if you dash back and go for a light attack intercept, ordinarily, with a single hit light attack champion, if it misses, you just throw the attack and then you dex out of there as fast as possible before you get yourself into danger. But with Okoye, you're at an increased risk of getting smacked in the face, because she recovers really, really slowly from whiffing a light attack, and occasionally this can be annoying. Talking of annoying, here's a matchup that I thought would really slow her down because of Rogue's damaging debuff duration reduction, or indeed any debuff duration reduction. Because of course the point of Okoye is you build up and then lock in all your DOTs just to melt your opponent. But what happens if you don't have any DOTs? Well, something I'm finding out here is that actually her debuffs last long enough that it doesn't make a substantial difference on the fight. As you can see, locking in over 20 of these debuffs, and Rogue is going down like everything else. And she's dead. Class disadvantage, theoretically a kit that should slow her down, and she obviously does not care. Now, this fight here, I'm going to have to do without Okoye, unfortunately. It's a Cable. If you bleed Cable, you get degen to death. That is not something I want to suffer. That is not something I want to show you guys. So, I'm just going to have to do this with Magneto. Apologies. I don't know what I'm doing here. With the SP1 as well, for good measure, and there we go. Okay. So we're on to the final boss. So for this final boss, we're going to have class disadvantage, and Archangel, you know, can be a bit awkward. If you get caught by his L1, that DOT is going to hurt. I only got 6,000 health left. And we've used Okoye all the way to get here, apart from Cable. And we haven't put any health potions into her, so let's see how far she can take this down, if indeed she can take this down. So I'll be looking to push Archangel to his SP2 here, and I fail, and I miss! I miss the dex on that middle attack, and that bleed, I tell you, that bleed hurts when you do not have that much health. Beating a heavy attack here, somehow I parried the last hit of the SP1. Not sure how that happened, but locking in well over 20 debuffs here, well over 30 debuffs here, and despite having nearly 70,000 health, that burst, when combined with my vicious passive, is taking him down below 25%, below 20%, baiting another heavy attack. And here, I'm going to turtle up. No, I'm not. I'm just going to go back, bait parry, throw my SP1 here. My SP1 also obviously applies DOT. And I'm just going to dance around, and I'll tell you what, Archangel's gone. So, that's Okoye. That is Okoye, a DOT debuff machine with massive crit rate and just stupendous damage. I'm really, really impressed with this champion. What a way to kick off 2025. I'm going to end this recording here before my computer rudely cuts me off at 10 minutes. I'll be back. So I genuinely believe that Okoye will be taking the reins of the skill class in the coming year as Kate Bishop and Kingpin and the like become less relevant. The skill class really is in dire need of more 7-star representation, and Okoye is more than capable of providing that. I am really blown away, not only by her damage, but just how simple her damage is. And I'm certainly looking forward to getting my hands on one at a higher rarity. And let me know in the comments if you want me to take a little bit more time in the arena, grab myself a 4-star version. I'll take her into higher Act 5, I'll take her into Act 6. I'll try and speedrun Realm of Legends, we'll see what's up. And that is just about all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching if you have made it this far. Bye-bye.